So, David, do you have any examples from your own life of how you had a cross and you engaged it?
Yes. In my early 20s, I thought I had my life all planned out. And everything turned upside down almost all at once. I suffered a traumatic loss of direction with where my life was headed. And also always had some OCD symptoms, obsessive compulsive disorder, and they were always manageable, but they started to get worse also. And I was just sinking, and I felt all alone. I had no direction, had no plans for what was going to become of me. I knew, everything was great before that, but now I became aware that something had been missing. And I was in a Catholic family. Catholic faith was strong all during this time, but I was having a more personal experience now, where I needed direction, and I looked to God for the direction. I began. I had stopped working. I had stopped school, and I just needed to set time aside to straighten this out. And so I began reading theology and books written, in the early years of the church. I went to daily mass, looking for answers from the sermons and from the Gospels. And so I looking back at it now, that's what I was doing. I was accepting the depression, had to get through it. And it took over a year and a half. And but I was all that time reaching closer to God. And I always had felt close to God, but now I needed him more, and he was there more in my life. And so through that time, things began to improve. And it ended up with me meeting my future wife, Gloria, and then things changed. I now had direction, the direction where I was going, which was to be a bachelor and live a certain life, not a sinful life, but it wasn't what God had wanted me to do. And I was choosing it was my will, not his. When I submitted myself to him, what do you have for me, Lord? What are you trying to tell me? And I followed that way. And it brought me to my future wife, Gloria. And then all of a sudden I had a whole new perspective on life and haven't looked back to those days. And, my life did change, and I have no regrets ever since then.
Yeah. So even though you weren't really thinking of it as a cross, you did deal with this by seeking God out and following what his will was in this. That's really good.
Yes. And it took me, a while to discern what his will was. I thought I wanted to be wealthy and have a charitable foundation. I thought all of this stuff was something that would please God.
Right.
But he had other plans for me.
Right. Yeah. Wow. That's really cool. That's good.